So in Kraft and Heinz, we'll start with the industry structure. The industry structure used by Kraft Heinz is food processing. They specialize in producing and manufacturing foodstuffs such as cheese, ketchup, dairy products, and many more. According to Wikipedia, food processing is the change of farming items into food or one of type of food into different structures. Food preparing incorporates numerous types of handling nourishments, from granulating grain to make crude flour to home cooking to complex mechanical techniques used to make comfort nourishments. We have essential food handling, which is important to make nourishments such as bread, and tertiary food packing to check over nutrition and weight. There are a few distinct manners by which food can be delivered, which is one of it is one of creation. The second one is cluster creation, or known as batch production. The third one is large scale manufacturing or mass production, and lastly JIT, which is just in time.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I'm good day to Dr. Muhammad. My name is Faisal Abdul Latif, Mammatik number 243759. So I'm going to continue with the management team of Kraft Heinz company. Basically, I will summarize their position because I already mentioned about their achievement in our report. I will start with Michael, the Chief Executive Officer in the company, and Carlos is the US Zone President, and he leading all business operation, and Anna, she is Chief Growth Officer, and she is responsible for accelerating organic growth, and Bilo, he is a Chief Financial Officer in the company, and he is responsible for the company global accounting, treasury, taxation, and so on. Marcus is the Chief Procurement Officer, and he is responsible for leading a company procurement organization globally. And Bruno present, he is the president of the company in Canada, and he is responsible for leading Canadian business. And Rashida, she is the vice president, senior vice president, and she represent companies and private equity sponsors in the consumer products and so on. And Michel, he's the senior vice president of corporate affairs of the company, and he's responsible for the global and internal and external communication.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Irfan Khan bin Feroz Khan. My matrix number is 265624. In my presentation, it will be about the corporate mission and vision, and I will also explain about if the merger and acquisition achieve its objective and the challenges faced by merger and Kraft. Corporate mission is Kraft Heinz mission statement is to be the best food company in the world. The statement shows the determination of Kraft Heinz to be the pace setter in all aspects, including quality product and customer services. The vision, on the other hand, does not have a published vision statement, but the operation of the company indicate that it strives to set a course in making Kraft Heinz the premier food and beverage company.
Hi, my name is Ainatul Shamita Amnan, and my matrix number is 267924. So next, I will talk about the location of Kraft Heinz Company. Kraft Heinz Company has headquarters at the Toronto, Canada, and they also have co-headquarters at Chicago, Illinois, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
What is the company corporate strategy? Well, as Dr. Muhammad he mentioned in online class, he said there are 5 stages of mergers and acquisition, which are corporate strategy and organizing for acquisition, deal structure, and post-acquisition integration, and post-acquisition audit. So one of the most important is the corporate strategy, and the Kraft Heinz company is focusing on business practice, including ZBB, which means zero based packaging. So revenue management, and MBO, which means management by objective, and this one give a rough ideas about measurable expectation, goals, and deliverables for the all managers in the company. As well as Kraft Heinz is focused on cost cutting and interest in scoring a big acquisition have been key to the company strategy under management installed by the Brazilian private equity by 3G Capital. Moreover, Kraft Heinz cost focus strategy also give way to a high pressure anxious environment, according to the four Kraft Heinz employees who work at the company's Chicago headquarters and two firm employees from Europe.
Next, reason or motives for the merger and acquisition. Both companies produce products that complement to market needs and consumer tastes. For example, like the Kraft Food produce cheese and H.J. Heinz began with ketchup. They also can maximize the revenue from both products, which is actually can sustain the economy as well as improve the company positions. It also can make the Kraft Heinz company grow faster than the competitor. So when they start to have a merger and acquisition, it can make the weak company quickly swallowed and become irrelevant in the market through exclusion. It also can make the market less competitive. Next, synergy. As well as we know that synergy is the combinations of two companies become powerful. So Heinz derives 60% sales region out of North America, and Kraft Food derives 98% its sales in North America. The market in North America make it higher economic of skills in that country market, so it can make better bargain with clients such as large retail outlet or food and beverages industries. Company combined can refinance the debt yield. For example, like Kraft Food brings benefits in Heinz because it can reduce the company debts with low yielding and investment grade debts.
What is the deal structure? Well, as Dr. Muhammad he mentioned on online class, he said the deal structure is starting by evaluation of target companies and choosing the advisors and negotiation with the senior advisors in the company and developing bid and defense strategies. So according to the terms of the deal, the current shareholders of Heinz will hold a 51% stock in the newly formed company. The remainder will go to the current shareholders of Kraft. The new company will have at its helm leaders drawn from the two merging entities. The management of two companies have also announced that they accept to realize $1.5 billion in annual cost saving by the end of 2017 as the result of this deal.
Next, we talk about the strategies and defensive maneuvers in mergers and acquisition by acquired firm. First, strategies according to Anthony Marshall, which is a Kraft Heinz head of content strategy. They have three strategies. First, creating a climate change, which is he will find a solution to overcome the problem by listen the thinking and complain towards the idea. Second, communication. Communication can help people understand the progressing is actually happening. Third, implement and sustain the change, which is sharing and engaging what happening in the public as well as rewarding also can improve the quality and motivation to other. Next, according to Miguel Patricio, which is the Kraft Heinz new Chief Executive Officer, they also have three strategies which is more focused to simplify the product quality than the expensive one, which is Kraft Heinz started to discontinuing the low selling and unprofitable product. Second, be more selective. They started to focusing to cut the new number of product introduction in half. Third, improve execution around the categories, brand and sales. It's actually to fix the critical and drive greater efficiency in supply chain. Lastly is defensive maneuvers. As we know that Kraft Heinz company actually has outside shareholder, which is from the two influential person who is Warren Buffett, CEO for Berkshire Hathaway, and Alex Behring, which is a founder of 3G Capital. Warren Buffett has a sharp sense in spotting great company, great leader, and he will invest in them in the long term. So Warren Buffett, for instance, we assume as a white knight to the company that made Kraft Heinz felt threatened with his actions since he has shares in the company. Thank you.
Okay. Now we're moving on to the question, is there value creation in the M&A? Value creation is the essential point of any business substance. Making value for clients helps sell items and administrations, while making value for investors as increments in stock cost safeguards the future accessibility of speculation cash flow to support activities. So in Kraft and Heinz, there was value creation but not executed efficiently. In the event that we have the correct perseverability, we can manufacture a strong pipeline of efficiencies, situated activities over a value chain. As we know, value chain is very important for every company as they create the correct amount of value for that company. So the organization earned maybe the most consideration in the most recent year for repeating quite a while of profit because of acquirement wrongdoing that set off a Securities and Exchange Commission examination. While financial specialists were ravenous for development, 3G couldn't change the Kraft Heinz inheritance marks rapidly enough to satisfy customer needs for more beneficial, fresher, and now and again less expensive private name items. While Jell-O, Kool-Aid, and Velveeta were being stacked onto racks, the structural plates of enormous box food were moving underneath Kraft Heinz feet, and they couldn't adjust sufficiently quick. So Patricio said he accepts the persevered with joining disapproved of cost cutting and didn't offer it to a non-stop improvement probability driven mentality soon enough, and said there will be improvement with the help from the board. So moving on to the next slide. So in regards to the question, how does the acquirer organize the acquisition? The merger between the H.J. Heinz Company and Kraft Foods was affirmed by each organization's board of directors and investors in the start of 2015. The new organization had its rudder chiefs drawn from the two consolidating substances. The director of Heinz, Alex Behring, was to expect chairmanship of the new organization. The vice chairmanship was saved for Kraft's present director and CEO John Cahill. Bernardo Hees, the CEO of Heinz, held his title as the two organizations converged into a solitary firm when these two companies were merged. 2019, Kraft Heinz did some restructuring. Kraft Heinz cut a sum of 400 occupations that year, 200 of which were wiped out in the main portion, as per quarterly recording with the US Protections and Exchanges Commission. Now, when a new organization takes over or merges, they will do restructuring for the company, which is also considered how they organize the acquisition. So, Kraft and Heinz also rebuilded programs for the initial 3 months of the year, cost an aggregate of 27 million, and incorporating 1 million in severance and representative advantage costs. Despite the fact eliminating positions helps profit for the time being, Kraft Heinz should proceed with caution. Dispensing with positions can support edges by bringing down working costs for an organization. It can, without much of a stretch, become a mind channel answer for the organization or change into a general concentration to the detriment of different territories of the organization that can prompt development. Thank you.
Corporate governance is to make sure that company owner has appropriate decision-making process and that the interests of all important in the company stakeholders such as shareholder, supplier, customer, employees, and the community are balanced. The company will concerned with practice and procedure for trying to make sure that company will run in such a way that it can achieve the objective. It's very important to provide the best infrastructure to improve the quality of the decision made by those who manage business in order to create a long-term value more effectively. A. Role and responsibility of the board. The board of directors is the primary responsibility is to foster the Kraft Heinz company for long-term success. It's a responsible establish corporate policy, oversee management, and set strategy direction. 4B. Board composition, structure, and policy. Number 1. Board size. The Corporate Governance Committee will make recommendations to the board concerning the appropriate size of the board. Number 2. Independence of director. A majority of the directors shall meet the independent requirement of the Nasdaq Stock Market List Standard, will review all relevant information and make recommendations to the board. Number 3. Election director. All directors annually and the governing committee recommend a slate of directors for stockholders to elect the annual meeting of stockholders. Each director shall be elected by a vote of majority of the vote cast with respect to the director nominee election. 4. Limitation on management director. It is not necessary for a member of management to serve as a director. That is appropriate to nominate member of management to the board, including the chief executive officer. Number 5. The limitation on the other board service. Director may not serve on the board of more than 5 public companies. The board expects each director to ensure that he or her other commitment do not interfere with his or her duty as a Kraft Heinz director. Term. The board does not believe in term limit for the director because they will take off the board of service of directors who have developed through the valuable experience over time. 7. Director orientation and operation. Kraft Heinz provides an orientation process for new directors, including a review of Kraft Heinz background material, meeting with senior management, and a briefing on key. The board and its committee receive regular presentation on Kraft Heinz strategy and business plan, financial performance, legal and regulatory matters. Number 8. Director communication with third parties. The chief executive officer who speak for Kraft Heinz should communicate about Kraft Heinz with stockholders, analysts, the press, and media. Part of a Kraft Heinz management commitment to stockholder engagement, independent director may participate in meetings and other communication with significant stockholders. Number 9. Stockholder and inter-party communication with the board. Stockholders and parties who have interest in Kraft Heinz may write to any director and the board of directors, and director establish procedure for handling such communication. C. Board meeting. Number 1 is frequency of meeting. 2nd, an organization meeting. Number 3 is strategy plan review. For number 4, is committee and responsibility. Number 5, audit committee. Number 6, compensation committee. And number 7 is nominating and corporate governance committee. For the last one is D, but not least, the performance evaluation and succession planning. First, annual CEO evaluation and CEO compensation. Number 2 is succession planning. Number 3 is board and director evaluation. Last is board compensation. Non-management director compensation by form and amount are determined by the board of directors. Thank you. Post-acquisition integration is the process of bringing two or more companies together with the aim of maximizing profit to get revenue during the deal. No company in the world wants to deal only good on paper, but also the process of deal. The company plan must begin from the beginning of deal and the best practice and incorporate with the integral members and plans were established before the deal closed. For the Heinz Company and Kraft Food Group have announced that they have entered into definitive merger agreement to create the Kraft Heinz Company. The 3G Capital and Berkshire Hathaway have teamed up to create a new company through the merger of Heinz Co. and the Kraft Food Group. For the share stock to the new company, the shareholder of Heinz will hold a 51. The majority shareholder and also include 3G Capital and Berkshire Hathaway. For more good, the company provided a one-time cash dividend of $16.50 per share. The cost of share dividend, the value share amount of $10 billion will be done by 3G Capital and Berkshire Hathaway Company. On March 24, the amount of share dividend is more than a quarter of the closing share price of Kraft. The improvement in operation of the combined company shareholder will get a lot of benefit that happens since the transition is expected to epic only by 2017. The agreement with both board directors of company has been deal value at around $45 billion, and the combined company will have annual sales revenue for approximately $38 billion. The company management have stated that the combination two largest food company will have the Heinz global footprint that drive 16% of its sales from region North America. Then its sales of region America and the emerging economy contribute of 35% of its sales. The Kraft Heinz drives 98% of its sales from North America, and the combination this company will sell Kraft brand in international market. The Kraft agreement with Mondelez International is the opportunity to focus international growth with its spin-off from Kraft namesake parent company in 2012. The two company management they expect to release $1.5 billion in cost saving by the end of the 2017, and the cost come from North American market. It will improve the operating margin of the company. The change operation strategy can also contribute to cost savings, since Kraft has a much better credit rating, will be able to replace the Kraft low yielding and investment grade debt.
Overall, it has shown positive results, but did not entirely fulfill the objective of the mega merger of these two big food companies. It is because of one big major reason, which is the bad post-integration process. In earlier 2019, the company suffered massive loss in less than 24 hours, according to CNBC. And it is also because of the zero-based budgeting was promoted by 3G Capital, which is one of the big investors in this merger and acquisition. Most people expected relatively smooth sailing. Unfortunately, it was anything but smooth. Lack of capital here and there causes the inefficiencies of the whole firm itself, because they laid off many workers and they reduced the investment in the marketing. The merger of any firm was supposed to give synergy, add value, but in this case it did not. And the last reason is because they are unable to cope with the pace of customer preferences. Next question is the challenges faced by Kraft and Heinz. My first point is they are losing the competitive edge. Product of private retailers brands such as Walmart, Target, is dominating the shelf and giving limited space for products such as Kraft and Heinz, so they have to compete more. Second point is security and exchange probe. Product they face legal and structural issues regarding accounting policies and many more. The scrutiny by this government body is scaring off the investors. No investors like such government body is investigating the accounting book of their firm. The next point is lack of marketing and not appealing. The product of Kraft and Heinz is unable to accommodate the millennials' preference. The millennials prefer product organic and local producers. The next point is the trouble union of Kraft and Heinz. Unfortunately, this union, Berkshire Hathaway and 3G Capital, has become a rocky marriage as the company failed to adapt its product offering as quickly as their competitors. And the stock also has lost more than 3/4 of its value. If Warren Buffett, the biggest and the most aesthetic investors in the world, are struggling, it might scare the other average investors away. The last point is financial troubles endangers the dividends. Kraft Heinz pays out an annual dividend of $1.60 per share. The company was hiking this payout every year after the merger until it cut the dividend heavily in 2019. Wall Street expects revenue and earning growth remain sluggish over several years. This is very bad news in terms of the dividends, and it is not that appealing for the investors. And the future for the Kraft and Heinz. Thank you. That is all from me.